Hey, my name is Eric Raudsep, and I'm running for NC House right here in North Carolina, over in Durham. And one thing that has struck me all day long is that we have been talking about DACA. And I'll be honest, there's a lot of details about DACA that I didn't know. And I've done some research on it and gone over a lot of details. First of all, I didn't know that 844,000 Americans are currently protected by DACA. And if you don't know, DACA stands for Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. And it was signed as an executive order in 2012 by former President Barack Obama. And it's something that actually affects the Durham area quite a bit. This is very important. This is an extremely important aspect of immigration policy. And it's something that we need to fight for. I understand where a lot of people are coming in and they're questioning the legitimacy of this being an executive order. But the fact of the matter remains that for, in essence, the last 5 years, people have applied for DACA. It is a largely self-sustaining process because the application fee is $495. So it actually costs the taxpayers virtually no money. It has been defunded since 2013 by the Republican Congress. So it has been forced to fund itself, which I think is excellent. And if people feel that this exceeds the power of an executive order, I wouldn't actually disagree with that statement. However, we cannot, I will emphasize this again, we cannot rescind this executive order until proper legislation has been passed. That would be irresponsible. That would be detrimental to thousands of North Carolinian citizens. Not to mention 844,000 citizens around the United States. The fact that Homeland Security, the Justice Department, and the Trump administration have all come in against the executive order with no plan in place to create it as legislation indicates to me that they don't care. They are trying to wear the mantle of responsibility, but it's not working. This is not what responsible people do. Was a mistake made? Possibly. And judicial review will have to go over it. However, 5 years down the line is not some time that you can all of a sudden say, well, let me think about the validity of that statement. No. Now we need to come up with a course of action to come up with legislation, pass it through Congress, and then we can repeal the executive order. In fact, actually, if we pass legislation, it would override the executive order and it wouldn't even need to be repealed. That's what needs to be done. Judicial review has to be swift, and if it isn't, it must be assumed that the judicial review would find it to be acceptable. This is legitimate government. This is how government should work. This is not the way that Sessions and Trump are trying to portray it. In fact, actually, I think our immigration policy needs to be more open in many regards. And the expansion of DACA in 2014 by Obama, also by executive order, and that was shut down by judicial review. We need to follow those courses of action, but they have to be passed by Congress. We need legitimate immigration reform in this nation. In fact, actually, we need to bring back the tradition of every 20 years that amnesty is granted in this nation. It has now been almost 40 years since amnesty was last granted, and we need to bring back that as a policy. My name is Eric Raudsep. I'm running for NC House right here in Durham, North Carolina. Check me out on my webpage at www.raudsep2018.com. Like me on Facebook at raudsep2018.com. Or follow me on Twitter, Raudsep NC House. Have a great evening. Bye.